So this is better than what I have?
That's just regular double oak.
What do I have?
I don't know. You have a pick?
I have the Liquor Barn. Where did all of it go?
Dane probably drank it.
It's...
Blame Dane.
I always will.
Yeah, we always do. Welcome back this week. I'm Perry, and this is my Bourbon Podcast. I am so happy to have you around. And on episode 41...
Yeah. Yeah.
I have,
yeah.
as you could probably tell by now, a recurring guest on the show, old Papa Ritter.
How are you, Perry? Thank you for having me back again.
We have made it officially to episode 41 of This Is My Bourbon Podcast.
It's quite significant here.
And the reason that Dad's on for number 41 here is for a couple of reasons. The first being that his favorite Mets baseball player was...
the greatest pitcher ever. Arguably the greatest pitcher ever.
Of all time.
And that's Tom Seaver.
Tom Seaver,
He pitched for the New York Mets. He pitched for 3 other teams as well.
And then Dad's favorite Dave Matthews Band song.
It's number 41.
Number 41. And
what am I wearing?
Well, you're also wearing a Dave Matthews Band shirt.
I did that on purpose.
Look at that. Well, I didn't even think about that.
Part of the group here.
So our...
I got chills thinking about Tom Seaver. I'm serious. I mean, I grew up watching this man, and he just, like... He was just such a great role model.
Sure.
And you never heard anything bad about him. He is the highest vote getter in the to ever get into the Hall of Fame. I mean,
the man, the myth, the legend.
And if you're a baseball fan and you've never seen this man pitch before, you should. I'm sure it's all over YouTube.
Oh, it's got to be on YouTube.
I mean,
it's got to be.
Led the Mets to the '69 World Series. Yeah. We could talk this.
We could go on and on.
We can go on and on. Then we can. And I heard number 41 today, by the way.
Nice.
On DMB radio.
So I am introducing with episode 41 a brand new segment of the show, which is going to be called Flying Blind. And we are going to be trying something. Yes, I'm springing this on you. We are going to be trying something that we may have never tried before, or have tried before in the past and have forgotten about, or are going to come back around to. And in this instance, I wanted to bring up larceny for Dad. Dad is a big Maker's Mark fan, or used to be. He's not so much anymore. In between his last episode and this one, he's kind of fallen off of the Maker's wagon, which you can find at the Maker's Mark Distillery campus.
Which we're still ambassadors of, and we still love Makers. It was time to just kind of branch out a little bit.
It's more the regular Makers that we're not as big of fans of.
Makers 46 is still
46 is great. Cast strength is good. Their picks their store picks are normally very good too. But just kind of in general, it's the same thing with Woodford. Mm-hmm. You know, their basic offering is just not that. It's not that good. So anyway, larceny, of course, is a wheated bourbon, and I wanted to bring this back up to Dad, who before has had larceny and said, I just don't think I'm that big a fan of it. So I figured this would be a good opportunity for him to revisit it on Flying Blind.
It's a perfect time. We're drinking out of Glencairn glasses.
Of course, with the big letter R
monogrammed
on them. I love the nose on this one. It's very sweet and caramelly. There's actually a little bit of floralness to it, florality, not too much,
not too bad,
enough to kind of, make itself present. And then there is a little bit of heat too, I would say. But I think overall, it's a very pleasant nose.
So tell me, Dad,
Puri,
honestly, we have not started drinking yet.
Well, I was on a pick earlier today, so
Yeah,
I've been
I
drinking.
haven't.
So
I was not on a pick. I wished I was on. I had a long day. When you and Lucy bought me a bottle for my birthday one year of Larceny.
Yep.
And I mean, I thought it was pretty good. And then you kind of went on like a negative kick on it.
Yeah, I had a moment where, and by a moment I mean like a few months, where I could not drink it. I mean, I kept trying it, and it would taste or smell like just a really young bourbon.
So what changed?
No idea. I don't know if I was just going through a phase with my palate, or if I got a bad bottle, or what. But it was like, I just don't know. Something re-clicked for me, and I was able to come back to it,
Right.
and I love it. I mean, I really do think it's a fantastic bourbon.
Well, I mean, there's nothing stopping me from going back to it.
Sure.
I mean, it just...
Sure. And this is what this segment is all about, too, is going back and trying something or something new that you may have not been sure about in the past.
think... I'm sorry.
No,
Well, I was going to say, I think the reason that I didn't go back to it was because of what you said, And I was just like, well...
Well, time to change those feelings. And with that, we say cheers.
Bottoms up, boys. Damn, that's really good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Cheaper than Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
Higher proof than Maker's Mark.
It's different on the front end than it is in the back end. It's a little bit of heat in the back.
It is, but I think that overall, this is just a much more enjoyable bourbon
Yeah.
than Maker's Mark. There's a really prominent chocolate note, too. And I'll let you take your second sip before you comment on that. But I think that there is a very prominent chocolate note.
I taste it.
Especially towards the back end.
Towards the back end.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I wanted to say, I want to tell you this. I opened the Evan Williams, what is it, that I love, that we've talked about.
The single barrel.
Single barrel.
Right.
And this is from...
Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill. But it's the 20... No, from Evan Williams.
Yes, it's also a Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill.
Yeah, it's a Heaven Hill product.
You can block that out.
So is Larceny.
Right. Anyway, this bottle that I have just is nothing but peanut butter.
Oh, really?
It is so good.
That's awesome.
It is so
I
good.
I love peanut buttery bourbons.
I was like, oh, wow. It's peanut butter.
Well, that's one of the things we love so much about Noah's Mill, too.
Yeah.
Is how peanut buttery is. And surprisingly, and it kind of goes along with Old Fitzgerald.
Running a little low.
It's about time. Kind of going along with Old Fitzgerald, which is also a wheated bourbon from Heaven Hill. It does kind of have a nutty flavor to it. And, of course, our good buddy Chad of It's Bourbon Night, who, by the way, just crossed 1 million views on YouTube.
Congratulations, Chad.
They just put out
Sarah.
as of recording today, they put out their 1 million... Their 1 million views episode, which I have not seen yet.
That's amazing.
But I'm very excited to go and check that out. So head to
Congratulations.
youtube.com/It's Bourbon Night, and you'll be able to check out that video.
I just added a couple of drops of water to mine.
Did you?
Just, yeah.
Even at 92 proof?
Even at 92 proof. I just wanted
Interesting.
to just try it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing.
Well, I mean, if you're doing it, I'm going to jump off
like father, like son.
I'm going to jump off the cliff, too.
Don't go nuts there, son.
So as we're... you like it a little bit better with water, or...
No, I think I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I don't like the nose as much.
Yeah,
It becomes
I mean-
chemically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, as we're struggling through the rest of this pour, Dad, what you been drinking recently?
Well, I've been drinking Buffalo Trace. I have been drinking...
That's your new daily drinker.
Yeah. The Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Nice.
I had some of that the other night.
We got you that for Father's Day, right?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I picked up a Liquor Barn. That's toad. Hold on. I picked up the Liquor Barn Maker's Mark Private Select. The
nice.
Moorcastle. It's very good.
That's from the Forecastle Festival.
Yeah.
That's what they sold at Forecastle.
They call it Morecastle.
Yeah, because it's the second Forecastle
There you
release.
go.
Yeah, so they go.
So I've had that, and hold on. Really, that's been it. I mean, I'm getting to where I'm getting to like bottom of bottles here. And
I hit that recently.
and I'm like, I don't know what to do because like,
Buy more.
duh. Like the Jefferson's Groth is not out yet.
I meant to tell you.
Oh,
I cannot remember where it was.
I've seen it, but I haven't seen like the latest guy.
Somewhere
God, I love that stuff.
recently,
so much.
I found a pic of the Jefferson's Groth
Where?
and the Jefferson's Pritchards.
Where?
I can't remember. I'm gonna have to think through it again. It's somewhere in Lexington because I ran through a whole bunch of stores yesterday trying to look for stuff.
I had popcorn and I'm trying to get out of it.
I can't remember exactly where it was.
Really?
I'll have to walk back through. Oh, Total Wine. It was a Total Wine
That's great. Where? In their
bourbon section.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I not
you
promote.
just
We're
there?
not promoting anything, but I think I'm gonna have to. You just spilling water on it.
Yeah, I know.
I think I gotta make a run for the girls tomorrow.
Well, you just might have to. Good old Saturday run there.
Yeah, gotta mow the lawn. If anybody wants to help me mow the lawn, I pay top dollar. Anyway, let me think.
Well, while you're
I'm looking at my
thinking,
bar. That's why I'm.
no, it's fine. While you're thinking, I'll go ahead and talk about what I've been drinking
Yeah,
recently.
tell me.
Of course, I've been drinking this T.W. Samuels Bottled and Bond. It's been so hard not to drink it recently because it's just, and we'll actually drink a little bit of it.
Yeah, I would try it.
A little bit in the show, a little bit later in the show. And honestly, I don't really have anything planned as far as topics go for this one. So
This is just a chat.
We'll just hang out and drink and talk about whatever comes out. But then I got a few bottles for my birthday from family and friends.
You got a lot of
And I gotta give a special shout out to our friend John Bodine, who gave me, just out of the goodness of his heart, a bottle of Henry McKenna Bottled and Bond single barreled 10-year, because he's just the coolest guy. And I had not seen a barreled in 2008 bottle of Henry McKenna yet, and he dropped one off for me.
He's awesome.
So good, man.
He's awesome.
I mean, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And this bottle in particular, it's funny because I'll go through a period where Henry McKenna barrels taste fairly similar, with a couple in between that stand out. And this one seems to have gone in such a different direction
Yeah.
that it's like that one I had last year too that was so good but so different.
Right.
And this one, I'll have to bring it by sometime soon. But anyway, it was distilled in 2008 and barreled in 2008. And
See,
we'll be talking about it on the show in a couple weeks, I'm sure.
I still have just a bit of barreled in 07.
Yeah.
And I'm just I just don't want to part with it. I grabbed it the other night and I was like,
blame you.
I've also been drinking Eagle Rare.
You've been drinking a lot of Eagle Rare.
I love it.
Yeah. It's
I love
good
it.
stuff. It's
And
good stuff.
Blanton's, of course.
You know, I never did open that bottle on my birthday.
Oh, you did?
But I was a little busy. That day, though, so-
1792.
Yeah.
1792. God,
Are you coming
bless-
around to it?
Yeah, I like it.
Really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
God bless them. You know, with
With
everything going on,
Sure.
and they need a huge shout out because we love you guys, and
Well,
we
they-
hope you guys are getting things together.
And they have a lot of support that's been coming out of
From the community.
all of their retailers and everything. So
good.
I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah,
they're
I
gonna
think
be
so,
all
too.
right. And then the other thing I've been drinking. So today, I'm actually recording this episode 41, before episode 40, and we are recording on August 10th. And I just came off of a Four Roses pick with OBC.
You down with OBC?
And you know me. And That was a lot of fun. We had some really incredible bourbons. And actually, this Friday, when this episode comes out, I have a bonus episode where I was hanging out with Iverson and Justin on the way to the pick, and I just recorded in the car. No, not Justin of Justin's House of Bourbon.
You want a sticker?
Well, yeah, sure. I would love one. Thanks, Dad.
I got one for you.
This is Justin from OBC.
I got you.
But anyway, we were just talking about bourbon in general, as well as the pick that we had just come off of and everything. So anyway, the Friday that this episode comes out, be on the lookout for that. It'll be all in the same exact places as you normally find the podcast.
The reason why we're recording this early is that next
you guys are
Friday,
going to be gone next
we're
weekend.
going to be out of town. And should I tell where?
You're going to be in Chicago.
I'm going to be in Chicago.
For Pearl Jam.
Sarah Ritter and I are going to see 2 nights at Wrigley Field.
Dad's a little excited about it.
Pearl Jam. They're playing the second show tonight in Seattle. Then they go to Missoula. And then it's Chicago and Boston, which I had a chance to go to, but I just had to say no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're not recording the video just yet.
I'm waving at
But
myself.
I just wanted to remind everybody that we have started recording the reviews of each episode for Patreon. And you can head to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast if you would like to check out those video reviews. Eventually, we are going to switch over to full video episodes that are going to be released on Patreon and just the reviews on YouTube. But in the meantime, be sure to head to Patreon and you can check out these video reviews. We haven't started recording the full episodes just yet.
Man, you won today.
But I wanted to. Yes, they did. I saw that. Yeah. But I wanted to go ahead and get my camera set up before we got too far into it. Anyway.
Mets.
It's not recording.
I know.
The video's not recording.
I know it's
right now.
not.
You're just pointing.
I'm just pointing. Bob Dylan. I'm just reporting.
Speaking of Bob Dylan.
What?
Oh, have you not seen?
No.
Dad, Dylan's coming to EKU.
When?
November?
Get out of here.
I'm not kidding.
Have you never seen him?
No, I've never seen Bob
I think
Dylan.
I've seen Dylan more than I've seen anybody.
Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if they still have tickets available real quick.
A Dylan
But-
concert is not amazing.
I
To
don't
be in
care.
the presence of the man is amazing.
It's 2 days before your birthday.
That's the 11th,
Yes, it is.
people. That's a Saturday night. No, it's a Sunday night.
It's Sunday night. Yeah.
November 13th is my birthday. Please send me bourbon. Or a gift card.
We'll talk
Okay.
about this later.
Okay,
But anyway,
that's fine.
so like I said, we're just gonna kind of hang out and drink this episode and try some different stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well, can I tell a story?
I don't see why not.
I mean,
for it.
did I interrupt?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, we're in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
We were in Charleston, South Carolina. Let's see, this happened like
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, three weeks ago, and God dang it, it was hot, and it was me and my wife Kathy, Dane, who we've shouted out about a bunch of times. And
Well, he's been on the
and
show.
he's been on the show, and hello, and his girlfriend Lindsay Sizemore. Anyway, we were walking through a part of Charleston that we had never walked through. It was safe, but it was off of King Street.
Save your Glencairn for later. Let's go rocks right
Rocks.
now. Yep.
Anyway, you want to do that, or you want to do what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, let's do what you're talking about. We'll move up because we're going from 92 to 94, and then we'll go to 100,
Yeah.
and then on up.
So anyway, we were looking for like a bottle of water, and lo and behold, I'll put you take
I'll
care
move
of
it.
it. Lo and behold, we find a liquor store, which for the Ritters, it's amazing. This is a 94.
Right.
And it's the liquor store. It's called the Tavern.
Right. Tavern Wine and Spirits.
Tavern
or
Wine and
something.
Spirits. It is listed as America's oldest liquor store. I believe it. I mean, there were different ways to sell liquor. Hence, in Bourbon County, legend had it that when we
talk about this. I don't think we've ever talked about this on the show before.
All right, let me. Okay.
Well, because you're already into the Bourbon County thing. Talk about the Bourbon County portion of it.
When I was 9, and this is 1974, we moved from Amsterdam, New York, to Paris, Bourbon County, Kentucky.
Yep. Which is not necessarily famous for bourbon, but not anymore, at least.
No, but the house we moved into was on a road called the Clay Kaiser Road, and it is the house was called. If you're not from Kentucky, I don't know how this is in other states and even countries, but some houses are named.
Mm-hmm.
Marchmont is the Claiborne house, and I can go on anyway. So this house was named Stone Castle, and it was an old stone house built in the 1700s, and it had an addition to the back that was done in the early 70s. Now this is like I'm dating myself, but not long ago I drove by it again. And as we went to Cynthiana for Brett and Annie's wedding. Mm-hmm. The road that we lived on is off of the Cynthiana road.
Oh, okay. Road. Gotcha.
Anyway, I'll take y'all out there sometime. So anyway, we had like and like a not a paneled room, but an old wooden like type room. It was oak room.
Right.
Okay.
And it was kind of off the side of the house.
It was like on the corner of the house, and it had a door that they said led up to an attic that we were told never to go up. And it was cold as you wouldn't believe in the wintertime. It was so cold. Like snow would come in that room. You couldn't light a fire to keep you warm enough. I'm not kidding you.
I want to take a quick pause right here and let you know this is going somewhere, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever heard. But anyway, go ahead.
So off of this den room that I'm talking about, there's a windowsill, and the windowsill had a drawer underneath it, and apparently it was the first drive-through liquor store that people would come by, and there was somebody, they either had a still or whatever going on elsewhere in the house.
Sure.
It was cold that it was easy enough they could do anything in that basement.
Right.
But there was an indentation in the windowsill where the person would lean over to get to give the bottles and take the money and put it in the drawer. It was very cool. Yeah. I think it really is true.
I believe it too. I mean, it makes perfect sense, especially based on the time that it was built.
Yeah.
And everything. But it doesn't matter. That's a really cool story, but I wanted you to get back to...
It was a cold house in the wintertime. It's hot as blazes in summertime because it didn't have central air conditioning.
Anyway, back to Charleston, South Carolina.
Anyway, so we're in Charleston. This is this year, and in this liquor store called the Tavern, and the guy's name I think I want to say his name is Darren, but I can't remember if that's correct or not. Anyway,
sure.
he was working, and they had a Wathen's pick.
Mm-hmm. But not a barrel proof.
Not a barrel proof. It's a single barrel.
Yeah, it's 94 proof like Wathen's normally is.
It's not like
the pick from Justin's.
It's not like the pick from Justin's.
That we drank the last
proof.
time that Dad was on the podcast.
That's 116 proof, and it's still freaking amazing.
So good. Yeah.
Anyway.
But this one's 90.
I'm doing visuals while I'm talking. I'm very animated.
And bending down away from the microphone.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was like, man, I want to get something, but I don't.
And he talked you into it a little bit, didn't he? He's
talking me into some local stuff that I wasn't going to bite at because we remember in episode whatever, we got hillbilly crap. And it's, but they always say, here we go. They always say, this is a gold medal winner, and we're like, well, we don't know about that. I'm sure it is.
Best in the state.
I'm sure it is, but Wathens is good.
Sure.
Through and through. And so, anyway, I was just like, oh, okay. Kathy looked at me and she goes, do you want anything? And I go,
Kinda?
yeah, I kind of do. I know, I was just kind of doing. I kind of went back and forth, and I go, I'll just pick up the Wathens. And I tried to save it until tonight.
But
we're running low.
Not that there were no liquor stores on Isle of Palms.
Yeah.
Or on, or, in that area.
Mount Pleasant or
still.
Isle of Palms. But anyway,
you were pressured into opening.
I was pressured. Everybody wanted to have a little taste too. I'm not gonna lie there. So I picked up a bottle, and this is Wathen's Single Barrel, 94 proof from the tavern. I think the owner's name is Steve. And
you said Darren earlier.
No, Darren worked there.
Oh,
but
okay.
the owner is like, the dude that works at Justin's, the guy I talked to.
Right. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I think his name is Steve. Steve Jr. Anyway, I think I told him about this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that we would be definitely tasting this on the next podcast that I did with you. And so I'm shouting out to the tavern. If you're ever in Charleston, South Carolina, and you want to know where it is, I'll give my Twitter handle later.
And we'll tag them and everything.
Yeah, they are on Facebook.
The
I think they might be on Instagram. I cannot remember, but I know they definitely have a Facebook fan page or like page or something like that.
This nose is so sweet.
Yeah. Now we switched to rocks.
We did. Yeah, because I wanted to save the Glencairns for our actual review. And you, listeners, know what the review is. But currently, I have no idea what it is because Dad's trying to...
Oh, I've kept this a secret.
He's trying to hide it from me. So we'll find out.
You ready?
I'll find out soon enough. But yeah, let's take a sip of it.
That's awesome. Perry just looks like he ate a bad tomato.
Let me take another sip.
It's smooth. What are you getting? I'm getting back end stuff.
I'm getting a lot of tobacco flavor. I'm getting a whole lot of tobacco flavor with some spice.
Steve's on?
Also, speaking of Steve's on, we did an episode on Neat, the story of bourbon.
If you have not seen it,
recently,
you have got to see it.
Yeah, it's a great movie, and we had a lot of fun with that episode.
And as we say every time we talk about it, you'll laugh, you'll cry.
Oh, yeah, I did not expect to cry with that movie, but boy, did I, and you can hear more reactions on episode 39, where we actually go in depth on that episode.
That's out, correct?
Yes, it is out, because this is 41.
Yeah, dude, I know. I can count. Going to see Pearl Jam next week.
Yeah, this is... It's
interesting.
It's really fruity and really tobacco heavy. Mm-hmm. And that's about all that I really get from it with the like rye spice.
I don't mind the tobacco taste that much.
I don't think I do either, but the fact that it is so prominent is what I don't like.
And funny you say that, because I haven't had a taste in like a minute and a half. Mm-hmm. And
you get more on the finish?
I get more on the finish of the tobacco. Yeah. And it's like a burley, which is what's raised in Kentucky. It's like a burley taste. I used to smoke. I do not smoke anymore.
Well, you also used to raise tobacco.
Yeah.
Too, on the farm.
Yeah. But
I think this would go great with a cigar.
I think if I smoked cigars, it would, but I don't smoke.
Well, I mean, I have a cigar every now and then, but I think this is a very good... It's not too heavy. Mm-hmm. It has some sweetness that a cigar doesn't necessarily have.
Right.
But it seems a little bit more niche in terms of bourbon than some like everyday sippers.
Yeah. It's a special occasion.
Yeah, definitely. It's not bad by any means. It's just really different, especially from what regular Wathans is. Regular Wathans actually, I think, is like a little bit flat. Mm-hmm. But this has more flavor.
It has more flavor. I think I still like. I don't know. It's if you could sip this every day, it'd be fine. You can't sip Justin's 116 every day.
Well, no, it's a barrel proof.
Bust you'd be on your behind.
You mean you're way knocked out?
You'd be like, not going to make it to dinner. You know what I'm talking about?
Whew. Yep.
Finish it up.
That hit me really weird.
Excuse me, see the faces that the host is giving right now.
Whew. That's me.
I don't know who. I'm trying to think of it. It was worth the buy.
I think so too. I don't think that it's anything that is unenjoyable.
Right.
By any means.
We talked about when Dane was on the show. Didn't we? Wasn't that one of the things that we talked about? How we did this at the beach when we talked about how we drink.
Yeah, that was the whole episode. This is how I drink bourbon.
I think I could drink this with a cube or two. I know Perry doesn't.
I'm not a big watered down bourbon person.
I've turned into more not, but I.
Well, just kidding.
It
depends.
You can
it depends. It depends. It's not my house.
You know who makes some of the strongest drinks I've ever had?
Suggins?
AP Suggins on Romney Road in Lexington, Kentucky.
I was just there earlier today.
They have a Maker's 46 on the rocks for me every time I'm there, and there ain't any water. And Kathy looks at me like, "You're
sure you're gonna be able to finish
dead.
that? Yeah,
you're dead.
Yeah, can you drive home?" I won't let you know his answer. We're just gonna move on from there.
Well, I'm eating.
Well, of course.
Anyway. So this is definitely worth the buy. I just close it out with that.
Yeah,
and
sure.
And to the tavern
Sure. It's different.
in Charleston, South Carolina, we salute you and we thank you and
for sure.
Cheers to everybody.
So the next thing I wanted to pour, and we talked about it earlier, was this T.W. Samuels Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Anything of this
bottled and bond. So I'll tell you about it a little bit. First off, it's owned by Heaven Hill. Mm-hmm. It's another one of their really cheap bottled and bond bourbons. The other thing about
they get away with it too.
What's that last name?
Samuels?
Samuels.
Well, that has to do with Makers.
You're right, it does.
Yeah.
That's Bill Samuels. Brother. No, that's his ancestor.
Oh.
So the T.W. Samuels namesake is what originally Maker's Mark was founded on in terms of their process and their distillation and everything. And after a while, T.W. Samuels itself became defunct.
Right.
And Heaven Hill bought it out.
Right. And such as everything at Buffalo Trace.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And T.W. Samuels was known more for his blended whiskey and his rye whiskey, if I remember correctly. But the bottled and bond, of course, has been, excuse me, too.
Anybody else?
Yeah, has been adopted by Heaven Hill. I have not seen a bottle of this in anything less than a 1.75, less than a handle.
Okay. Is it plastic?
It is plastic.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to make any more judgments until after you've tried it, because
let me water down my glass real fast.
Yeah. Clean it out there a little bit.
Yeah, just
I don't want you to make any more judgments. I don't want to let you know anything else about it until you've actually tried it.
All right.
And he's cleaning his glass. He's
clean glass.
Drink it down, pouring, and there you go.
Pass it around.
99 bottles of bourbon on the wall.
I was doing a Pearl Jam song, but
oh, okay.
Oh, it's doing Crazy Mary.
Another story.
Which is
another story. Dang. I love the nose on this.
Folks.
So
this is a what? 100 proof? It's bottled and bond.
It's bottled and bond. It's 100 proof.
Perry. I got my nose deep in the glass.
So, as of today, yesterday, so the 9th, I finished off a bottle of this. I made a post about it. And I've gotten a lot of response from people going, where is this? What's this from?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this or seen it before or anything. And again, I don't want to say too much until you've tried it. But daggone, that nose is so good.
It's got a little heat to it.
It does, but it couples really nicely with fruit. And then, again, some tobacco and leather on the nose, but it's not overpowering. I think that with this, the tobacco and the leather is really, it mingles really well with everything else. It doesn't become the predominant note.
It's funny how, like, my left nostril gets something different than my right nostril does.
Left
I also
nostril
had
is
a
a lot
really
of
bad
heat.
sinus headache today, and, like, I'm better now. I felt awful today.
Well, Dad, would you like to try this?
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Oh, never mind.
I just had to give it one more.
One more good sniff. And he drank it. And the farm's mine!
Well, it's good. It's not what I expected. You know, it's really smooth. It has...
Again, there's there's like a chocolate
Yeah, there's a chocolate hit to it.
note to it.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
good,
so
though.
versed on things that I'll say chocolate hit. Not a note. I like this pear.
Yeah. So I've been saying for a long time that this reminds me a lot of Elijah Craig.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it is extremely similar in profile to Elijah Craig. It's still Heaven Hill.
It's funny. The second sip I had a little bit more heat than the first one did.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I was talking with Chad and Sarah the last time they were on. I can't remember for sure. But anyway, I had them try this. And Sarah and I have really, really similar palates.
Mm. You've said that many times.
Many times. But anyway, I was talking
I think
about...
you and I do too.
I think so, yeah. Oh, I definitely agree with that.
Is Sarah my daughter? Do I have another daughter named Sarah?
You were adopted, so you could have a...
That doesn't have anything to do with it.
You could have a niece.
Yeah.
Wasn't saying you had...
Sarah. Sarah?
Okay. Moving on. We were
Is
saying...
it about the chocolate bunny?
We were saying how similar it is to Elijah Craig, but it has something a little bit different to it. And I think what's different about it is that it takes a lot of the baked goods flavors of Elijah Craig,
Yeah.
but also adds that chocolate flavor to it. I really like this.
I like this too, man. I really do.
This is like a $20 handle.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You see how much stuff you've been missing out on with makers?
This is yeah. This is like a football game.
No, this would be a great bourbon for a football
be.
game.
I'm ready. So I have
What's in there?
Makers. It's Makers from last
okay.
year. So
Okay.
I have 3 airplane bottles that I only bring 2 in. I have a third one that's sealed that I saved when my father was in the hospital once, and I said I'd probably never open that. I'll let you guys open it sometime. But
No, maybe not.
yeah. Whatever. Shrug my shoulders.
Anyway.
Dad's never drank bourbon anyway, and
Well, he didn't like it at
he
least.
hated it. He liked the scotch.
The scotch.
The scotch.
He loved the scotch.
He loved the scotch. And he loved the golf.
Anyway.
And he loved Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Sure he did.
He did not.
Sure he did.
He
That was
did
his
that
favorite band. Anyway, yeah, I think this would be a really great...
This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I originally found this bottle at Total Wine,
Totes.
but it's starting to crop
Catch
up
on?
elsewhere. Yeah. So,
So that's a $20 handle.
yeah,
Shoot.
a $20 bottled and bond handle, which there aren't many of. I mean, you can. I think JTS Brown and JW Dant you can get a handle of.
And what's the Heaven Hill as I'm holding it in my hand? What is this?
The 750.
The 750.
Now it's at $15.
It's catching on.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. And that's another thing too. We'll talk about pricing. We've done a whole episode on pricing before, but I want to
Remember we did. That's what we did with Dane too. We did the cheap.
We talked cheap drinkers.
Cheap drinking
too.
Yeah.
I want to redo an episode too in the future sometime where we talk about just pricing and inflation and
man, look at your tricep, dude. Look at that. Whoa.
Who'd I get that from?
Me.
Yeah, exactly.
Slam. Kabam.
I wasn't even flexing.
Don't have to. Just pops out.
Anyway,
we work out a lot.
Dad works out more than I do.
I'm in need of a break right now, though. The pot is tired.
I took a break and now I'm really jumping back in. It doesn't matter. That's not.
He's rocking the tricep. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Anyway, I fully recommend, and we're actually going to be doing a review of this sometime in the near future.
Yeah. That's good
where
stuff.
we really break it down and everything. But
it's okay. Here's my buying mentality when I go and shop. A lot of it is price, and I don't spend money on cheaper stuff thinking it's cheap stuff.
Mm-hmm. You're looking for good quality cheap stuff.
You brought me the Heaven Hill bottled and bond last year, and I was like, come on, man, this has got to be awful.
Well, I was just talking with
so good.
Yeah, and I was just talking with somebody recently about how they saw a bottle of Heaven Hill bottled and bond, and they go, "Oh man, I wouldn't drink that again." And I'm like, "You're thinking no. They're thinking of the wrong one.
Yeah.
They're thinking of the 80 proof.
The 80 proof.
And the 80 proof is not good.
The 80 proof is
That'll
80 proof.
Kill ya.
Yeah.
But the bottled and bond is what's good.
But the Heaven Hill old style bourbon, that's
the green label 90 proof.
That's good.
Yeah, it's also I prefer the bottled and bond.
I prefer the bottled and bond
personally.
as well.
Yeah.
Where did I get this?
Chad and Sarah.
Chad and Sarah.
They brought it over for my graduation party.
My niece Sarah.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. See, Sarah's name is spelled correctly.
My sister Sarah?
No, Sarah Ritter is not.
Oh, okay. Well, what's funny is that
she turns into Sarah with an H.
Sarah with an H. That's the funny thing is Sarah Algrim from It's Bourbon Night always talks about how when she gets when she's had a little bit too much on It's Bourbon Night or on a bourbon night, she turns into Sarah with an H.
Which is hysterical.
And Sarah, my sister, likes to say that when she's had too much, she turns into Sarah without the H.
I absolutely love it. It's just so funny.
It just cracks me.
It just kills me.
I just love it so much.
But Sarah Ritter hasn't ever had anything to drink. She's only 20.
Never.
Okay. I'm going to go get it.
Okay. So Dad is about to pick out his special review bottle.
I'm going to get it.
He's going to get it. I'm going to go ahead and get the video set up as well for...
I got it.
All right, George Costanza. So I've gone ahead and started recording. You'll be able to go and see this on patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast.
So a Instagram post came out one day from Justin's House of Blues.
Of blues?
Bourbons. God, oh man. Anyway, and so they had Weller Special Reserve, like for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
A handle for nothing. I was just like, okay. So
he's holding this behind his
holding
back,
this,
by the way.
and it's not like this is probably. I don't know if you're gonna go. Oh God, I can't believe. So I go, what else? Have you tried? And I don't know. He was being really cool,
right?
But I was, how I shop.
Sure.
I need to have some time. And he goes, I tell you what. And this was like on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I tried this over the weekend. It's pretty good.
What is it?
See what you like. See if you like it or not.
Okay.
So it's the Bower Hill single barrel.
Oh, I've never had it before. I don't know anything about this.
I know nothing about it. It's
I thought maybe he was going to pull out like a 1980s wild turkey or something.
No. I wasn't going to pay that. Anyway, it's a 94 proof. It's a single barrel from Louisville.
Okay.
Let's
find out how it is.
Know nothing about it.
I've been completely blinded by this, by the way. So I don't know anything about it either.
It's
honestly,
bottle 208 from how in the heck? it's bottle 208 from barrel 3.
Okay.
Of batch KY07-41.
I don't know nothing about this.
Did you hear what I just said?
41? Oh, are you serious? Is that another reason you wanted to do episode 41?
Dude, I didn't know it.
That's amazing.
No, it's -H.
Oh well.
I'm telling you, man.
Can I see it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a nice bottle.
So it's still Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey, distilled and aged in
I
Louisville.
swiped my nose right
as
on
you said.
TV.
That's all good. Let's see. It commemorates the Battle of, is it Bower or Bower? We're going to say Bower. The Battle of Bower Hill, which was the first bloodshed of the Whiskey Rebellion in 1794.
Well, honestly, if it's Louisville, it's Bower.
It's probably Bower then.
Yeah.
Took the lives of 2 rebel leaders, Oliver Miller and Major James McFarland, a veteran of the Revolutionary
Shameless
War,
plug for House of Bourbon.
as well as a few U.S. soldiers defending the Bower Hill home. Upon completion of the 2-day battle, the home was razed by fire. Let's see. The single barrel is hand-selected and proudly bottled by Bower Hill Distillery in Silverton, Ohio. So,
Talk to me. You think it's
hold
a
on.
load? You think it's a load of crap,
whoa,
don't you?
Whoa, wait. So it's distilled and aged in Louisville,
But it's bottled in Ohio.
but it's hand-selected and bottled by Bower Hill Distillery in Silverton, Ohio.
I think I got.
Okay.
I got Shanghai.
Let's talk about a couple things first here. So the first thing is that it is Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey, which means that it is at least 2 years old. It doesn't say anywhere how old it actually is, so we're going to go ahead and assume that it is at least 2 years old. I would say it's probably closer to 4 or 6. If it's from Louisville, it's probably from Old Forester. It's probably an Old Forester sourced bourbon. There's a small potential for it to also be Jim Beam, but it's really, really slight.
It's slight, yeah.
But
let's give it a go.
Let's find out. And I'm going to do the... Okay.
What happened?
Just dropped my water bottle. No big deal. Let me pick it up real quick, though.
Welcome.
I got it.
Welcome to
the David Ritter
the
show.
bar. This is the bar. This is the Mets bar. By golly. Hold on. Coke bottles.
Happy Coke.
Baylor School, Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I graduated.
That's primarily for the video viewers because
1982.
Dad was away from the microphone on that.
Oh, sorry.
First thing we're going to do is this cork pop. We'll see how it goes.
You can't do it. Man. Oh. Okay. Plastic.
It's a plastic
cork.
I don't know, man. It smells like cinnamon.
If it's Fireball,
It's not Fireball.
be
Dad, you bought, so you
pissed.
pour first.
All right.
I'm not terribly enthused by this
I'm really not.
so far.
I could spend a boatload on this.
Would you say it was 94 proof? Okay. So not too far off.
It's you hit it.
Cinnamon?
It's got a little heat.
Yeah. Let's move that Woodford out of the way, and we'll throw that right there.
So do you reverse it so we get it?
Oh, no, it'll be reversed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear laughter from the women folk. I know.
Cinnamon.
First thing.
Cinnamon and a little bit of oak,
A little bit. Not much.
but not a whole lot.
Oh.
Look, it's not bad.
No. Once again, it hits you in two different
It's a little
nostrils.
pungent. Yeah.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Hey, don't apologize yet. We haven't actually tried it. I think it's just.
I think it's.
It smells more like cinnamon whiskey than it does actual bourbon. So before we get too much further into it, you can go ahead and take a sip if you like.
I'd rather clank and go.
Yeah, I'm gonna move the phone out of the video. We
still have a landline.
They do. It's primarily for my grandmother, though. So, we have a review system, of course, of nose, palate, finish, and price. Each category is out of 5, and then we total everything up for a total. Marie does not like that. Marie's upstairs. We total everything up for a final score of out of 20, and then we let you know whether or not you should drink this, and we'll find out here very soon. Have you tried it?
No.
Dad seems disappointed. Cheers. Let's find
I'm
out.
kind of pissed at myself because. Never mind. Shut up. It doesn't have anything.
It's very cinnamon heavy.
Oh, man. Dang it.
No, it tastes like a Red Hot.
Why did I do this?
Justin, I love you. What were you thinking on this one, man? You didn't pick this one or distill it. I'm just giving you crap. It's fine. It's fine. This isn't very good.
I'm pissed.
We lost Dad.
It has nothing.
It just is straight hot cinnamon.
Yep.
Like cinnamon gum.
Like, Fireball is better than this.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, Barry. No, I wouldn't either. It's got a good nose.
Second sip, I actually like it a little bit better than I do the first. But still, it's so predominantly cinnamon.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of predictable also.
I would say so, too, especially based on the nose.
I'm just going to add a drop or two just to try.
I'm not gonna mess with it.
All right.
It's too low a proof, and I mean, based on what happened with the larceny earlier too, I would say that it would mess with it too much. Boy, the finish is really weak.
I'm really sorry.
The finish is like really, it's kind of herbal. I'm not a fan. What are you gonna do with this bottle? Tailgate.
Yeah. No, I don't know. You know, one thing I probably will do is let it sit for a little bit.
I think that's
let
fair.
it open up, give it some time.
That's probably a good
revisit
idea.
it, and then maybe like shoot a tweet or tell the listeners in a month or something like that I retried it, and it was still not as good, or it was a little bit better. I mean, I'm a true believer in letting things open up.
You know what? I will also
And I know
say,
everybody else is too. It's not a bad bottle, though.
I want to go ahead and say that this is also a single barrel. So there's the potential for this just not being a good barrel. And
Absolutely.
Overall, I mean, I just think it's kind of bland.
Yeah, I do too.
You know,
And
that's
I think-
about all I get out of it. Dad's at a loss for words. Okay,
There's things I want to add. Then there's things I don't.
Well, say whatever you want to, because
Do
you feel like you were led down the wrong path?
Yeah,
Is that what you're going?
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
and
Looking at you, Justin.
No, Justin didn't sell
I
it
know
to
it,
me.
I know
It was Steve or whomever, Junior, and and that's cool. He drank that over the weekend that he said, and he liked it. And
But who knows what else was
he
going
had
on
before? He could have said, "Well, I like this, but I also liked, the Double Oak Woodford better."
Yeah.
I know how I want to end the show though.
Okay. I think I might too, based on what's sitting in front of us. But
What? No, that's not. That's no.
oh, okay, good deal. So
Anyway,
one of our categories is price, of course. What'd you pay for it?
$85.
I'm not being very kind on the price. Honestly, that's
You giving it a 1?
less.
Half?
I gave it a 0.5.
Yeah, I'm giving it
Yeah.
a 0.5.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go through our scores here. Let me pull up a pad for you, real quick. Nose, palate, finish, and price again is our review system, our categories of review in our system. Whatever. Dad, what do you give the nose on it? No.
About a 1.
Okay. think
No,
that's
I
fair.
like the nose. I did like the nose. I'd probably give it a 2, 2.5.
Okay.
I like the nose. I think I like the nose better than.
I
mean, it doesn't freaking strike you.
yeah. I thought that
I thought it was smooth.
well. I thought that the
that's-
palate and the nose were about the same.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were too different, or one was better than the other. I gave both a 1.5. I just don't. It's so outside of the realm of bourbon. It tastes more like a cinnamon whiskey.
I think down the line I give it like 1s and 2s, and a 2's a push.
Well, we gotta figure out exactly which ones you want 1s and 2s on. But so palate, what do you want?
1.
Okay. So you gave it a 2.5 on the nose and a 1 on the palate. What about the finish?
1.
What about the price?
About the price?
Yeah. A 1?
Mm-mm.
0?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
I can't believe I paid $85.
I can't believe you did either, honestly. It tastes like cinnamon whiskey. One of our lowest scores on the show ever. That's a 4.5 out of 20.
I'm sorry.
That's
man.
hey, that's okay. For the nose, again, on the nose and the palate, I gave it a 1.5.
There's somebody out there that's like, I hate that old man.
And you know what? Drink it all you want. I mean, all the power
It's
to you.
drinkable.
I think it is too, but I just don't think that it's good enough to. I just don't think it's good enough. And again, maybe we had a bad barrel of it. We could have had just a really terrible barrel of this.
But
I'm
I'm sorry.
Bower Hill, if you have something that's going to change our mind. I mean, we're totally open to it.
Let us know. We'll come out or send it to us.
I thought the finish was actually the best part of it. I gave that a 2. I thought that
The finish is good.
I thought that it had some really like heavy vanilla flavors to it, but that was like it. Between that and the cinnamon spice.
Yeah, that was about it.
That was really bad. In price, I gave it 0.5. So overall, I gave it a 5.5 out of 20.
I'm staring at you.
I'm sorry, guys. It's just how it is. So I
think I'm turning into like crotchety old man, where I'm bitching about like the price of stuff anymore, and I'm not old. So and I'm definitely not crotchety.
Overall,
I'm definitely not old.
I cannot recommend this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, it sucks.
Am I keeping? It sucks bad, but I'm keeping the bottle, and I'm going to revisit it.
I think the bottle is beautiful.
The bottle is beautiful, but the contents of the bottle is not.
No.
What I was thinking about doing, and I said that we would only do this on special. What? You done?
Oh no, I can do something else because that was that bad. It tastes like
You need something.
it tastes like cough medicine or Motrin or something.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
had Dane been here, and if it was his Motrin,
He'd sneeze and it would have gone
It
everywhere.
would've been everywhere.
Before we move on, I want to thank you all on Patreon for watching this video. Again, if you would like to check it out, you can head to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. And for $2 a month, you can check out all of these review videos, rather. And I will
scratch there. Sorry.
see. No, it's all right. We'll see you next time. But anyway,
Thank you.
bye.
Come back to my basement sometime. And
But
video
and
out.
we're out of the video, which there was no edit there. That was a really smooth transition for us.
Perfect.
It was pretty impressive. Okay,
thought-
so Dad said he has something for us on special occasions. I'm curious what it is.
Let's have a little bit of this.
The experimental collection. Yeah, let's do it.
We'll talk about this for just a second. And we're going to have
Yeah.
to cook some dinner because I think the natives might be getting restless.
Well, as we are doing it, we will talk about what our tips and bits are
Oh yeah,
for the week,
yeah.
and we'll move on from there. Dad, do you have any tips and bits?
Heck yeah.
What are your tips and bits then? Thinking really
I'm on
hard about this.
episode Monday night. I will revisit episode 14 of Twin Peaks season 3. It is. I'm sorry, you all probably just hate me for every time I bring up Twin Peaks, but you get in a funk, and it starts to just kick in a little bit. It gets better and better and better. If you haven't watched the beginning of Twin Peaks, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Go back and watch every episode, and then the return. And it's amazing. I'm listening to a 1978 June show, I think it's June 9th, of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band at the Roxy in West Hollywood. It is incredible. They are at their peak. They're on the Darkness Tour. They have been playing big arenas and big shows, and this show happens to be it just happened. Hello. It happens to be in a small theater. It's Bruce at this time. I don't like Bruce now that much. I like Bruce from 76 through 88, 89. And the reason is the E Street Band is one of the greatest backing bands ever. He's on fire. Mm-hmm. He's got that voice. He's what rock stars like Dave Matthews are today. Mm-hmm. Just on fire. So that's on his website. You can get that show on his website. That's on brucespringsteen.net, and they have a link to all his live shows. I mean it. I mean it.
Sure. Yeah.
Dane kind of got me to start listening to older Bruce again, and the Darkness on the Edge of Town tour. The River tour is amazing. If you can get anything from those, I have some old bootlegs and stuff, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
Going to see Pearl Jam next week. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. And wash, brush your teeth, hang out with your children.
I think that was the other one from that last episode.
And make sure that you talk to your parents
every day. Just about
at least
every day.
once a day.
Sure.
If you can. And I think I'm done. Oh, wait. One more band. Okay, is that okay?
Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Deer Tick.
Oh, yeah.
If you've heard Deer Tick, if you haven't heard Deer Tick, they're really good.
Yeah, no, they're a great band.
They're a great band.
They're really,
I
really
really
good.
like Deer Tick, and you all gave me 2 albums over Christmas last year. There's an acoustic album and a rocker album, and they're both phenomenal.
Yeah.
So Deer Tick.
Before I get into my tips and bits, I just want to say this is actually really good. This Buffalo Trace experimental collection. This was the infrared barrel, right? Like it was exposed to infrared light for.
Was it?
Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's check. It's not like we don't have the bottle right in front of us.
Well, you read it.
It says.
And I have not had a drop of this since the last time we opened it.
30-minute infrared light wave barrels. So, yeah, it is different. I wouldn't say it's the best Buffalo Trace I've ever had, but it's definitely very good.
But it's so good.
Dad really likes it.
Yeah, I really like it.
So, I want to... my tips and bits, I'm not trying to get too heavy this week or anything, but our buddy Chad from its Bourbon Night was in Las Vegas back in October when the big mass shooting happened at the concert. And as part of the relief efforts, a big group of comic book artists and writers produced a graphic novel called Where We Live. And all of those proceeds to that book go towards the survivors and their families, as well as, I believe, the victims of the shooting. I got that book for my birthday.
Which was Tuesday.
Three days ago as of this recording. And I will tell you, it is a very hard read. There are some extremely moving stories that are in that book, but it is one of the easiest and most compassionate things you can do for those people who were involved in that, and it costs you a very small amount. I will actually include a link to it in the description of this episode, and probably for the next few weeks I will include that link as well in our description, because I think that it is extremely important for those people and to receive some support. And it hit so close to home for us when Chad was out there.
Remember, it's about the victims and not the shooter.
Exactly. I mean, it's all about
the survival of the victims.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. My tips and bits this week is a little bit heavier than I normally do, but this book, this graphic novel, is so incredible and tells the stories of the survivors and the people who were involved with this horrible incident.
Awful.
In such an incredible light that I can't help but try to share it with people. So anyway, that's all.
The day after that happened is when Tom Petty died.
Yeah,
and not
right
to
after.
take away from what happened, but we woke up to that horrible incident, and then Tom Petty dies that afternoon, and it's just like that was just a kick.
It was a rough couple of days.
Yeah,
and I
grew up listening to Tom Petty,
and I'm a big fan of Chad's.
And I'm a big fan of Chad's and Sarah's, and and James and James
Chad
goes to church. James' family used to go to church with us,
and I mean Chad's one of my best friends,
yeah.
and everything, and I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah,
but
I'm
anyway,
not taking you to Comic-Con. You'd have never met Chad. Anyway, sorry. I'm not trying to.
No, it's all
away
good.
from
But
what
anyway,
you're
that's my only tips and bits this week. I can't follow up or anything with that. But regardless, I want to say thank you all so much for listening this week, Dad.
Perry.
People want to find you on social media. Where can they do that?
Oh my goodness. At JD Ritter 2 on the Twitter, Ritter 5 at Instagram. I will not follow you back on Facebook unless I know you.
Sure.
Is there another one?
That's about it.
I'm on Snapchat, but I do not like Snapchat. I go to Starbucks on Ashland Avenue almost every day except this morning. There's a little diner in Bourbon County, Kentucky, in Paris, Kentucky, and I think it's called Lil's, and it's on Main Street, and they have coffee that is brewed with. I should have used this earlier. Brewed with vanilla and bourbon, and it's.
Let's throw that into the tips and bits.
Yeah, that's a tip. That's a coda. This is a coda for that. Anyway. If you're ever in Bourbon County, stop in and get some coffee because they made me a nice cup of cold iced coffee this morning.
Sure.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm great. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay. This has been fun. This has been a lot of
really
fun.
good episode.
And I know that
it's different.
I know that we probably you all probably get tired of the Ritters a lot, but we love. I'm always honored to be here.
People enjoy it.
I have a lot of fun, and hopefully I'll do at least one more before the end of the year.
Well, we have time. It's only August.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll do a Papa Ritter birthday special or something.
Oh, my gosh. Can we do that in November?
Of course.
Before the Dylan show?
Yeah. Oh, I think we can.
Shout out to Pearl Jam's friends and family. And I hope to see a lot of people who
next weekend
in Chicago. I think there's a gathering at
next weekend. Well, last weekend after this episode. Regardless,
I hope to see a bunch of people in Chicago and Sarah's first time in Wrigley Field, and
that'll be awesome.
I'm on the field both nights, baby. Not in the pit, but in the field. I'm out.
Well, Dad, I appreciate you again being on the episode.
Thank you again,
and being on the show.
Thank you, and thank you all for listening.
If you would like to find me personally on social media, I am at pritter1492, pretty much across the board. If you would like to follow up with the show, we are at My Bourbon Pod. And then if you would like to send us questions or comments, you can use This Is My Bourbon Pod at This Is My Bourbon Shop at gmail.com. You can also use the hashtag This Is My Bourbon Podcast. We will follow up with that, of course, on social media, especially Twitter. If you would like to find our merch, you can head to bourbonshop.threadless.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, you can head to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. You can help us keep doing this, of course. Trying to think what else. Rate and review on iTunes. That's a super big thing for us, of course. Keep counteracting not so favorable reviews, but that's conversation for another day. Thank you all so much for listening. Dad.
Perry.
Thank you for being on.
Love you, buddy. Thank you.
Hey, love you.
I love you.
Yeah. We will see you next week. I believe that Curtis and Tanner will be on then.
They will not do near as good as I did. They'll try.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
They'll try. They're not going to even get even close.
And Dad's challenging. But until the battle for the co-hosts goes down, I'm Perry, and this is My Bourbon Podcast.